Good evening, everyone. All of those who have joined the webinar portal here. So I'll just share my slide and we can start. Yeah. Is the slide visible?
Yes, you can put it
Yes.
on full slide mode.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So everybody can see?
Absolutely.
All right. So welcome to the process here today, everybody. We are from IMT Ghaziabad, and we are here to talk about fellow program in management in this webinar. So FPM is a fellow program in management, which is equivalent to a doctoral program. So we have a full-time residential program at IMT Ghaziabad. Here, the FPM is designed for the students, working executives, and academicians who are looking at making academic as a new career opportunity for them. So we have rigorous and original research orientation at IMT Ghaziabad. The program basically aims at developing outstanding scholars for careers in academia, research, and consultancy. The FPM program helps individuals to find consultancy-based jobs and research-based jobs in industry, government, and social sector. The program at IMT Ghaziabad is of 4 years duration. We have 2 years of the coursework. We include comprehensive examinations, seminar courses, workshops, and thesis work is involved in this particular program. We provide attractive stipend to the students also. So the doctoral scholars who stay on campus will be given an attractive monthly stipend of INR 60,000 to help them meet with their daily needs. So that's the overview of the program. We also have the selection process at IMT Ghaziabad. We go with a rigorous selection of the candidates who are truly interested in doing research. So for this, the few requirements are there. We go with the requirements of CAT, Gmat, GRE, GET, UGC, NET. Also, we look at your, post-graduation. Along with that, we also have a maximum age limit of 45 years. So anybody who is, less than 45 years of age can apply to this particular program. We require you to submit a research proposal of about 5,000 words, wherein you talk about your research interest areas, and you are given along with the application form that is there in our website, portal. So you can look into the application form there. So accordingly, we look into the selection process, and all those candidates who will be shortlisted for the process will be interviewed in the month of April and May 2022 itself for the upcoming session that we are planning to begin in June 2022. So for this, here we have a research proposal. I would request my colleague to please take it up.
Thank you, Professor. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Santosh Srivastav, currently working as an associate professor in business analytics department, IMT Ghaziabad. So the research proposal, as professor has said, you have to submit with your FPM application. So I will brief you about what is the purpose of research proposal that institute is asking from you guys. So the first question comes, what is the research proposal for? Why the IMT Ghaziabad is asking for the research proposal with FPM application? So the objective of the research proposal is tightly integrated with the application process. So once you are shortlisted for the interview panel will discuss your research proposal with you. So the reason why IMT Ghaziabad is asking for the research proposal is a twofold. The first one, it gives the fair idea about your writing skill, how you present your idea, your logical process and approach, and your communication clarity. And the second reason why we are asking about the research proposal, um, we try to understand why you want to pursue a research program. and how much you are aware about your intended research topic that you have proposed. Sometimes you submit the research proposal that is written haphazardly. Maybe there is a grammatical error, yeah, high plagiarism is there. So a lot of things you have to take care. I mean, you have to ensure when you submit your research proposal, it doesn't have any grammatical error or high plagiarism. So there is a format that is already given while you fill the application form. It has the 5, 6 key points that you have to take care while you are preparing your research proposal. I will explain in brief each points. Professor, can we go to the next slide? Yes. So the first important point of the research proposal is a title. So title is a something that interviewer will go through in your submitted proposal. So the research proposal title you have to formulate in such a way that it should capture all the relevant aspects of your study. Make it accessible, captivating to the readers. Be sure that the research title is crisp by nature. It gives all the essential information. So probably after completing your research proposal, you can think what should be the appropriate title for your research proposal. That is the first thing that you have to take care. The second important point of the research proposal is a problem statement. So let me give you the brief about the problem statement. What is the problem statement, and what are the important points that you have to really take care when you are writing problem statement for your research proposal. So a problem statement is a statement of a current issue or problem that requires timely action to improve the situation. Or in general word, we can say a problem statement will outline the negative points of the current situations and explain why this matters. Or the in a very layman word, I can say the problem statement needs to identify the pertinent problem of your research that aims to answer. It could arise from a real life experience or a research gap. So two essential elements while you are setting the problem statements are the contextualization and the relevance. These are the two important points that you have to really take care while you are writing your problem statement. So let me give you the brief about the contextualization. So contextualization means putting your research problem in a context, means providing the background information to understand why you want to study or solve this particular problem that you are proposing in your proposal, and if there has been earlier attempt to solve the problem or the solutions that are already available but seems imperfect or need improvement, include that information also here. Maybe your problem is not completely new. Some previous literature is already available, so probably you have to take care about all those things, and it should also identify the rationale behind the study. That is the contextualization part. Second, we'll go for the relevance. That is the very important part of your problem statement. The problem statement also needs to state why future work matters and why it is relevant in the today's era. Ask yourself what will happen if the problem continues and who will feel the consequences most. So if the solution you search for in your study has broader relevance outside the context, this also need to be included in your problem statement. So probably the idea that you have, the reality that is already there in the literature, and the consequences. These are the three important parts that you have to really take care while writing the problem statement. The third key point is the research objective or research questions. So what is research objective and research questions? So once you contextualize your research and you have already stated the relevance of your research of your proposed topic, you need to formulate precise aims actually. What you want to achieve, what you want to do. So the research objectives are very clear statement of what you aim to achieve through your research. So research objective should be very clear, that should be achievable and verifiable. And a research question is a specific concern of research objective that will answer through your research. So the research objective directly help you to assist in formulating the research questions somehow. So in other words, I mean, I can say a research objective has a macro overview that needs to be broken down into the respective questions so that addressing each question solves the bigger problem. So a research question should be very clear, should be very focused, should be very concise. It should not be directly answerable, right? It should be a little bit complex and definitely debatable. So these are the three, 4 points that you have to really take care when you are writing about your research objectives and the research questions. Next one is a literature review. So obviously the literature review is the survey of scholarly sources on a specific topic that you have proposed. So maybe your topic is completely new, or maybe there is a lot of research work is already done on a particular topic. You want to improve those research points. So whatever the topic you have chosen, definitely you will get some related literatures that has been already in the form of published or unpublished papers. So you can download, you can go through those papers. So basically the literature review will provide you the current knowledge. It allows you to identify the relevant theories that has been already proposed in the related topic, some methods, and through the literature topic, it will help you to identify the gaps into the existing research. So writing a literature review involves, finding the relevant publications, that may be books, that may be journal articles, and then you analyze those articles and you try to explain them in literature review. So ideally, the purpose of the literature review is making a little bit familiar with the topic and the scholarly context for you guys. Develop a theoretical framework. If already framework has been developed, you want to use the developed framework, you can quote, otherwise you can develop your framework with the help of the previous framework. You identify the appropriate methodology for your research, and now you position yourself with the other researchers and the theories that has been already presented by the researchers. So the literature review is a very important part of your research proposal. You go through it, try to summarize whatever the important work has already done by the researchers. The next one is a proposed research methodology. So this is something that you don't have to worry too much, because once you have identified the research gap, you have explained about the research questions, then you have to identify what are the appropriate methodology that you are going to use. And this is the futuristic thing, right? So you decide what type of data you're going to collect, how you are going to collect the data, what are the ways, what are the data types and all. And then you try to understand what type of statistical, maybe the qualitative or quantitative methods you can use to find the answer of your research questions. So the idea is this: a methodology is something that once you have a data, then you have a more clear observation which techniques, which tool you can use. But obviously, if some papers are published on a related topics, you go through those papers and try to understand what may be the appropriate methodology for your proposed research. But you don't have to worry too much about this methodology part, because obviously this is the futuristic thing. It may change based on the data availability, based on the data type that you're going to collect. And then the impact of outcomes. I mean, the implications of your study, since you're planning to pursue FPM in management, right? So it is expected that your research will be useful in literature contribution. And obviously the industry practitioners are also going to use your outcome some or other way. So it would be best to describe how the outcome of your research, whatever is, may be useful for the organizations, firms, or industries. And the last one is references. So yeah, it is always expected that you're going to, whatever debate, whatever the thing you're writing in your research proposal, you're going to support with the literature, you're going to support with the references. So in the reference section, list your all the references. It is my suggestion. Remember some of the prominent papers that is very close to your research topic that you are proposing in your research proposal. Go through the 4 or 5 papers closely associated with your research topic. Remember the name of some highly scholarly journal in your area of research. This is the something that you have to take care overall when you are preparing research proposal. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you. Now I would request my
Before we proceed further, can we see the number of students by clicking on the icon that we have participants, right? Because I just see our name, like we all are.
So there are students. There are students. There are around, I think, 25 and more students over there.
Okay, fair enough. Then I
So
can
continue, please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are there
Continue.
on FB Live as well?
Students are on the live. Yeah,
Students are
they are
live,
on the
and
live.
there are many students on live. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Many have joined later also.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Professor Gunjan and Professor Santosh. I'm Swati, and I'm working at IMT Ghaziabad as an assistant professor in the HR area. I would walk you through regarding the research culture and support that our institute provides, and it is a very conducive one when it comes to research. As soon as you join, you are exposed to a diverse mix of courses from your area, and you can take courses from allied areas. And these courses are seminar based driven courses wherein you will learn theories and you will be delivering the lectures to your faculty members and learning how to not just how to do research but also how to teach as well. We all our courses are driven by a rigorous evaluation process with continued emphasis on research. So we focus that, while you're doing your courses, you write term papers and get feedback from the faculty members. At During your coursework, you also get an opportunity to learn new research tools in qualitative and quantitative research, including R, Python, and so on and so forth. um, During your FPM, you will also meet your future collaborators. So not only your FPM colleagues, but your faculty members can be your future collaborators in doing research and writing research papers. And we provide you a space wherein you learn from and with the best minds across the country. We encourage that our students get an hands-on experience in doing research. So you will be delivering, as I said, in seminar-based classes, you will be delivering the classes, you will be critiquing the papers, you will be learning how to do academic writing. So all these things will enable you to dirt your own hands in doing research. And we also provide support to our FPM candidates in attending conferences. So all in all, this is like setting a stage for your career in academia. So moving forward, about our library resources, the quality of research in any institute is also driven by the quality of the library resources that it has. We have a multi-storied library, a lot of physical space, lot of books available, and a lot of space to sit, read, and write. There are a lot of digital resources available in our library which you can access remotely, and these include citation databases like Scopus, case collections like Emerald and Harvard Business Educating Resource, access to e-journals through ProQuest, JSTOR. We also have multiple databases available for our students to do secondary data research, like the ProS, IQ, and so on and so forth. Um, Again, access to ebooks, e-magazines, e-newspapers are available, and we also provide you access and license to using academic writing tools like Grammarly. um, the research culture, as I said over here, is conducive. And how can we say that we have a network of research driven faculty? In the I will show you the kind of papers our faculty publish, but it is not just about publishing it. Our research, we make sure that it has some kind of impact. So that impact comes from the way the research gets funded. So our faculty, some of our faculty members research has been funded by various government and internationally led institutions. We encourage our doctoral students to participate and organize institute-led conferences. Very soon, we are coming up with a conference in July this year on supply chain management. There are multiple workshops and webinars organized for our doctoral students so that they not only learn from the faculty members in the institute, but also the best minds across the world. And you will get all kind of avenues for networking with scholars within India and across the world. In the next this slide and the next slide, you can have a glimpse through the kind of papers that have been published by our faculty members in the last 3 academic years. um, On the left side, as you can see in the ABDC category journals and the Scopus indexed on the right side, I think in the last 3 years, our faculty members have published at least 10 papers in the A-star category. Here you can see the kind of cases published by our faculty members, the research output, as you can see. So we not only encourage our faculty members and the doctoral students to publish papers in research journals, but also cases, so that it has impact in the industry, as well as bring those cases into the classroom and drive your classrooms with your own learnings. Yeah. And you can go to the next slide. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Swati.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, rather a good evening to everyone. And I hope you all are doing well. Thanks, Professor Swati, Professor Gunjan, and Professor Santosh. When you talk about me, so some of the most memorable days that I have was when I was doing my FPM. So an FPM, it's a course which is like we have discussed. It's like 3 to 4 years of course. You spend your 4 years in an institute, and you always get so attached. I mean, it's not like if you're doing the other courses you do not, but FPM, we always say that is always it's a course which you always are so attached with the institutes, and it's always good to go back to the institute and have those fond memories. Now, when you talk about any of the courses, so some of the first question that comes into your mind is, what would be the career opportunity after this course? Now, when you talk about the FPM, that is the Fellow Program in Management, which is also said to be the PhD in the other institutes, So the very first option that comes into the, ma'am, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So the very first option that comes into the mind is basically of academics, going into the academics, joining the academics. And yeah, it is also the most popular option among the FPM pass outs. Now, when I talk about the academics, so it's not only going for the teaching, but you can also go for the postdoc. Now, postdoc, like you have your FPM opportunities. This is the doctoral program we say, and then after that you have the postdoctorate program. And you can join this postdoctoral not only in India but abroad also, and they are very, very good opportunities. The good stipend. The best part of FPM courses is that you also get the stipend to support yourself for the period. So same is for the postdoc. Now, who would like to go for the postdoc? Suppose if you have certain interest in settling abroad, or might be spending some more years into deeper research, or if you just feel like that I can just spend some 2 to 3 years in a good project and then come back. So again, so postdoc is again like extending your research or going deeper into the research. Then comes the academics, like going for the assistant professor, which is the entry level in any of the institutions. So all the B schools, some of the, you talk about IITs, triple ITs, NIITs, so many IIMs are coming up, B schools, like we spoke about, IMT, Auxiliary, MDI. There's so many institutes where you can apply after your FPM. And it's the remuneration is also good to start with. So teaching always is an option, whether you can start here in India. And since IMT is also AACSB accredited, so it has a huge acceptability when you apply abroad also, So postdoc, then teaching both here in India and abroad. Now, we always feel that our options are generally limited to academics only, but industry also has lot of opportunities for the FPM students. So now if you talk about the industry, you just see there are so many professors who get involved with the consultancy. So so the consultancy, the research and development wing. Now generally all the organizations, when you talk about here in India or abroad, they have this research and development wing where you can always add value to it. You have done a very good research on your topic, so you have a deeper knowledge about the subject and the area. You can always be an asset for the organization. So research and development, consultancy, these are the another lucrative options for the FPM students. Now, the third options, and even now we see most of the not only the MBA students but also the FPM students going and becoming the entrepreneur. I know some of my seniors who have started their own venture and they are doing very well. So entrepreneur, because you have spent so much of time here in FPM, you have seen both the MBA side, the research side. You have a very good understanding, so that gives you a very good base to become the entrepreneur. So these are some of the very lucrative options after the FPM. Not only the teaching, but there's so many other options which any FPM fellow can go and join. So yeah, so this is all that I have about the career opportunities, and I just say thank you to all of you. We extend our thank you to all of you, and if there is any questions, so we are open for the questions.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Professor Santosh, Professor Swati, and Professor Nivisha for taking this up. Now we have all the other FPM committee members from IMT Ghaziabad here. I'm Professor Gunjan Malhotra in the area of operations. We have Professor Rakesh Singh, who is in the area of marketing. And we also have students with us, Damini, who is an FPM scholar, as well as we have Abhijit, who is an FPM scholar here. So the forum is now open for questions. So if any one of you who has any kind of questions can ask the questions to us. So yeah. So I would request the scholars to please take up the questions, if any. Maybe Deepika, if you can just take it up, please. Or Abhijit, do you have questions there?
The first thing that we encourage in our FPM program is to ask questions. So if you think or that you are fit for this program, we would encourage you to ask questions.
Okay, so we have, I think, one question which Abhijit has sent. That is, can the age be relaxed as one candidate has a date of birth of 1976? So, that means above 45 years of age, I think, or around 45 years of age. So we do have this, that the maximum age limit should be 45 years. So if you are 44 years and few months, probably you can still apply. Yeah. Any other questions do we have? We would encourage questions. The
Yes,
complete
ma'am.
FPM committee is here with everybody. Yes, Abhijit.
Ma'am, one of the candidates is asking that their proposal consists of both HRM and finance domain. So
So what's the question?
yes, ma'am, just a second.
Yeah.
Ma'am, that proposal touches both HRM and finance, and only a few papers are available on this topic. So is it good to go ahead with this topic if they are asking that?
Professor Rakesh, if you would like to answer this.
If
Sir, we can't hear you.
If a proposal can always have a multidisciplinary things to it, depending on what kind of topic the applicant has chosen, and he or she is writing a research proposal on. But that should not be a limitation for a research proposal. And as far as very little work done in that area, that doesn't really matter. It can always happen that if you are picking up something new, but then anything that new that you are picking up, it will always have a string going back to certain established literature. And that is what researchers are supposed to do. And I think that the applicant will have to actually get little deeper into it. Just by doing few keyword searches possibly will not give all the details. So maybe the applicant wants to try that. But one important point is that whether it is HR and a finance combination, now applicant has to be very clear whether they want to get into HR area or they want to get into finance area. See, tomorrow, as the applicant, let's say, gets into the program and progresses into doing his thesis, doctoral research, it could also have some element of OB into it, so that is fine. So that doesn't change the specialization, so that's okay.
Thank you, sir. So we have any other questions?
Ma'am, also the candidates are asking if is it about the word limit or the quality of the paper? Because one candidate is asking if it's their research proposal is of 2000 words, so is it enough?
I think the quality matters to us.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so quality is more important.
I have a point to make. See, this is for the benefit of the applicants. If a word limit is given 5,000, that basically means that you should try and make use of that limit. Do not restrict yourself to 2,000. I mean, why we are giving you 5,000? That's a reasonable space being given. That's a reasonable, so that you can showcase your my colleague was discussing when he was talking about research proposal, that you need to showcase your interest, your motivation. You want to show your little bit of research orientation. So maybe you want to expand that. You want to bring in more material. You want to make it look more integrated and all of that. So why to restrict at 2,000? I mean, you can always, but I mean, of course, there is no minimum word criteria, so that's absolutely left to the candidate. But personally, I would think that 5,000 word limit is basically for the purpose that you have enough scope to showcase your work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So we have other questions, Abhijit?
Abhijit, I wanted to ask you, how does it work? Like when I'm answering, students are able to hear that, right? In the
Yes, sir, because as this is live, I'm taking the questions from the YouTube, which the candidates are asking.
Sure.
Sir, also a lot of talks is about the preparation for their interviews.
Okay. So what exactly the question is regarding that?
That how should they prepare for the interviews if they have cleared their proposal and if they want to take first-hand preparation before starting of the interviews? What are the questions, or how should they prepare for the interview? That is basically what they're asking.
So I would request you to take it up, please.
Swati wants to answer that. You want to take it, Swati? Yeah.
I would take it, and then maybe so you can add and others can add.
Sure.
So see, there is when it comes to an FPM interview, we are looking at your keen interest in doing research. We ask you for your SOP, and of course, we try to understand what your background is. So, I mean, from your end, if it comes to preparation, you have to be through and through regarding what you've written in your SOP. So, the topic that you've chosen, the current literature on that, we try to understand, what insights are you bringing it in through that SOP. And of course, I mean, we would try to understand what have you done in your past, in your education, and if you have some work experience and so on and so forth. So I think this is what we are looking at. And your interest in doing research is what we are trying to understand, and of course whether you are aligned well in doing research, whether you can take that I mean I will call it also a stress of doing research for the next 4 years. I will not put it in a very glorified thing. Doing research and your FPM journey at times appears to be a little lonely, telling from my own experience. So are you really ready to take that kind of efforts? That is one thing that I mean we would try to understand. And again, not needless to iterate it, you have to be thorough with your SOP. Yeah. Professor Rakesh and others like Professor Nivisha, Professor Santosh,
Certainly,
Professor Divya.
that's a very good point that you just elaborated upon, and I just wanted to add that because when you are preparing for interview, what is it that you want interviewers to understand from you? So how are they going to base their decision about your candidature, right? So you want to be very sure that whatever has been your background, if you are a master's in economics or a master's in psychology or whatever you have done, maybe you want to brush up the fundamentals, and you want to be sure that you can present to the committee members there that you understand your subject. So one is that you want to showcase that whatever you have done it well, and that gives you the confidence and the committee members the confidence to also ask you questions about what is your plan, what is it that you want to do. And that is where this research proposal document becomes so very important. So in a way it helps the selection committee members to connect these two, and therefore from a candidate perspective you want to be clearly prepared with both. So one side is your research proposal, and also you should be in a position to connect some of the things from whatever you have done so far. Clearly, you want to present a scholarly kind of image in front of the interviewers. You want to tell them that you understand whatever you do, and you have a good grounding, so to say, to be able to build further on that and eventually get into a doctoral program.
So yeah, I guess they both have covered all the points, but just one point, when you write your SOP or when you come here for the interview, we are not looking for someone who knows everything, but we are looking for someone who is ready to know, everything.
Absolutely.
Right.
So yeah, so you should, whatever you have written, at least you should know that why have you written this, what is the motivation behind it, why this topic, how, if you're talking about anything like research methodology and all, so at least you should know about it. We are not saying that know each and everything, at least show us that yes, you have done the research, you have taken some pain to reach there, that shows your research acumen and how thorough you will be. So yeah, so
I would just like to add one thing more to it, since everything else is being said. When we talk about methodology, so please be sure whatever methodology you have mentioned in your research proposal, you at least know that particular tools and techniques, right? So that is also very important. Later, you may change whatever research you want to do after you understand and know different kinds of tools and techniques. But if in your research proposal you have mentioned a particular tool or technique, please be aware about it, what it exactly is, right? Of course, as Professor Nivisha said, we do not want you to be perfect in everything, but yes, at least some knowledge about what you have mentioned is important, right? Thank you. So, Abhijit, we have any other question?
Thank you, ma'am. If we can wait, candidates are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we would still encourage candidates to ask more questions. It's for your benefit. Today, we all are here.
If it's possible for the candidates, they can ask the questions around the research proposal which they have submitted, or any other technical doubts which they want to adhere to, please.
The scholars can also ask questions to the FPM student who is there with us. So anything related to the stay at IMT or other things that you want to ask, you can ask. Damini is there from the student side. So if you have any questions, you can ask.
Ma'am, Satyam is asking a question if they are applying for multiple areas, so will they be interviewed based on a single domain or multiple domains? Because also one question was there because candidates are not able to understand if their research proposal should be focused on a specific domain or if the research proposal is multidisciplinary, how will they tackle the interview or how will they prepare? If someone can give some clarity on this.
See, there are two things over here. One is in which area you're applying to, and the second is your proposal, right? If you're applying, say, to HR area or finance area, but your proposal is a mix of HR and finance, you will be, so if you're applying to an HR area, broadly, you will be questioned about the HR area and then about the proposal, which is a mix of both. We are not we in fact we are encouraging you to do multidisciplinary research. So the idea is first to understand which area are you applying for, and then secondly, whatever your proposal is, our committee is a mix of faculty members from all areas, so we have experts available from all areas. So then you will be asked questions regarding your proposal, whatever you've written about, finance and HR, you will be questioned about that. So you have to look at it in two ways. First, which area have you applied for, and then second, so maybe you can have a mix of 60-40 kind of a thing, or I mean, not putting numbers, but yeah, if you are applying to HR area, you have to be first thorough with the basics of HR, and then we'll go to your SOP. But again, we are not at all discouraging that you should not do multidisciplinary research. In fact, I mean, if, management itself is a multidisciplinary field.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, they are asking if their research proposal, if they're clear about the topic, but a lot of candidates are not clear about the method, about how to go forward in the research. So, if someone can give an understanding about how the methodology can be done, or a generic view of how they should go forward,
Yeah.
because they haven't. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Abhishek. So actually, the methodology, I mean, based on your research topic, uh, you can go through some research paper that has been already published, but you don't have to worry about the methodology part. Whatever the methodology, either the statistical tool and technique, you're writing in your proposal, you have to go through it, because if you're writing any particular approach, so we are not expecting that you are expert in a particular tool and techniques, but at least you have to aware about this. Anything you write in your research proposal, right, you are saying that this particular method can be used in future, right? It may not be, it depends, right, when you conduct this research. So I think whatever the methodology you're writing in your proposal, you have to go through it, but you don't have to worry too much about this.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions we have?
No, ma'am, not now. If we can wait, if it's possible.
Yeah. So you can also ask questions to the student here. So any questions you have, you can please look into it. Abhijit, we have more questions coming up. Just Bhanti, should we ask Damini to talk about the stay at IMT?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Damini, probably you can talk about the stay at IMT, how it is, and from the beginning till now, whatever you have faced, of course.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I'd be happy to share my experience with all of you. A very good evening. And talking about my experience, I have had a holistic experience so far. My 2 years has been very rewarding, right from the very starting. As I always say that the best thing here that I've received is the faculty support, as they're always ready to support you and help you. Talking about the IMT campus experience, it's very lively, like 24/7 library campus. IMT never sleeps, it's true. And you have an open library where you can read. Apart from that, you have many cultural events. PhD journey becomes sometimes very stressful for people, but here I can say that the experience that I am having till now, it's very, I can like live here. I am happy to live here. And the best thing is the accommodations they are providing. We have been providing a single room with all the necessary facilities. Everything is there in the room. And the mess, the food quality is very good. I've been out from my home since like after my 12th. But I can say the food I'm getting here, it's the best till I get. So, and okay, the apart from that, it's very flexible, right? Faculty support is there, but they will provide your space, so that you will have your own space to work in your specialized area. Like there would not be any stressful pressure from the side of the institute. So overall, it's been a very good experience for me, right? And if you have like specific query regarding the stay and anything, you can ask me. But the advice and the experience have been truly invaluable for me right now.
Thank you, Damini.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we can see the other questions related to this. Abhijit, if you can take it up.
No, ma'am, all the major questions regarding the research proposal and the methodology has been answered.
Okay, so let's wait for 2-3 more minutes.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is it okay if I can take one question, like from the from the student side, participant side? I
Yes,
can see
please
one
do
question
that.
directly coming to me.
Okay.
So it is saying that the person has an experience of 20 years in the field, and she said that she wants to enroll for the full-time PhD in OBHR area specifically. And is it mandatory to qualify NET Gmat for admissions to PhD? I would say it's mandatory, but yeah, if it good if anybody of you professor can answer.
We have actually kept that as a selection criteria. The rest depends upon your, post-graduation, what you have done, and how well you have prepared into all that things. So once we look at the complete candidature, I think we'll be in a better position to let you know. But one of the selection criteria is definitely yes. You have a GMAT or CAT and other things. So
Yeah, if it's possible, candidates can refer the IMT website for the eligibility criteria, because it is not very clear amongst participants on who are eligible and who are not. If they can refer the website, very detailed
that's
eligibility
right.
criteria is being mentioned, and also the course structure is there, so they can have an overview on what they will be uh, starting as their
Even
candidates
the
in that
brochure
way.
is there, the kind of
Yes.
research being done by our faculty members in the areas, in all different functional areas at IMT Ghaziabad is also mentioned there. So to give you a complete overview, you can refer to the IMT brochure, which is there in IMT's website.
Abhijit, on the chat box, maybe you want to share the link of that.
Yeah, you can share. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, I will. I will.
So there's a brochure, there's an updated brochure. You have all the complete information about how the program will proceed. And if any of your questions are still, remaining, you can get the answers through there. But still, if you have questions, you can always contact the admissions office at IMT. We'll be happy to take up your questions.
One more general question that comes from the married participants, students. They're saying, like, is it mandatory for them to stay in the campus?
As of now, yes, we have a full-time residential program, and we do not provide married accommodation to the couples who are married. So we have an individual accommodation.
I would highly encourage candidates to ask questions regarding the research proposal. And if they have any doubt regarding how they're going forward with their proposal, please, it can be taken up right now.
So I hope, Abhijit, you have shared the link with all of them.
Yes,
We
ma'am,
can
I've
see
shared the
IMT's
link.
brochure and everything. All right.
Yeah.
So Abhijit and Damini are the research scholars. So if you have any further questions, you can contact them as well regarding the stay and the culture at IMT. So we can wait for next, I think, 5 more minutes. So if you have any other questions, we would encourage you to please ask those questions.
If I may ask, one of the candidates asking the plagiarism percentage in the proposal. So I guess 9%.
Yes.
Yeah.
We would encourage that the plagiarism should be less than 15%. So would request you to, when you submit your research proposal, please check with the freely available portals at your end. And we would encourage less than 15% of the plagiarism. I would request any one of you would like to add on the plagiarism. Professor Swati, would you like to add?
No. I think this is. If the student is asking, if the participant is asking for a cutoff, of course this is there. But yeah, any form of plagiarism is discouraged.
Yes. So any other questions we have?
No, ma'am.
So what should we do? We have 4 minutes to go.
We can wait if
Yes.
someone wants to ask.
So, ma'am, generally questions comes about the accommodation. Is accommodation free? Yes, it is free. You will get a single room with all the necessary facilities in the hostel itself.
I guess even it is, mess charges are also not being taken from the students.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
accommodation and the food is freely available. And along with that, you also get a stipend. Monthly stipend of INR 60,000 as of now. So I think there's no more questions. So we're close to winding off then.
Yes, ma'am. Most of the questions I've been answering in the chat itself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So is there any particular question to be shared with the panel?
No, ma'am.
I think, so what should we do next?
Ma'am, can I ask like one
Yeah.
general question that
Yes,
usually
please.
come from the FPM student side? So about the number of seats, if you can talk about that, how many seats, because generally does not depend upon the number of seats. It depends upon the proposal. If you can answer that question, it would be great, ma'am.
We have a maximum 10 seats at IMT. So, we are looking for quality research from your side and motivated students to do, research for the next 4 years. So that is there. So maximum seats that we have is 10, but there are more than that number who have applied to it. So it all depends upon the quality of research and the motivation to do research.
May I add something over here?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
See, when we say that we have a maximum number of seats, that doesn't mean that we have to fill all these seats. At the end of the day, it is the quality that matters. So even if we have 10 seats, we are ready to go without filling any seat till the time we get the best candidate for the program.
Right. So should we wind off, sir? Because I think it's 7 and we don't have any other questions. So Abhijit, do we have any other question to be directed towards the panel?
No, ma'am.
All right then.
I think before we close, let us ask admissions representative.
Deepika is here.
Yeah, she wants to close it.
Deepika?
Thank you.
So Deepika, can we close?
Yes, ma'am, you can close.
All right, thank you. So would you want to add anything to the students? From
No,
the
ma'am.
admission side?
No,
Okay.
ma'am, no, ma'am. No.
All right. Then thank you so much, all the participants who have joined. Sorry, somebody was saying something? Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining and being participative in this webinar. And we, from the IMT side, we would, invite you all to come and explore the journey of academia and research at IMT Ghaziabad. So a very enriching experience will be awaiting you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Rakesh, Professor Nivisha, Professor Santosh, Professor Swati, and Professor Tripti to be here to answer the queries of the students. And in addition to that, I would also like to thank the FPM scholars, Damini and Abhijit, to helping us and supporting us to make a webinar a success. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, and have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
If
So
any
I think we all
candidate
can
has,
close.
yeah, if any candidate has any kind of doubts regarding cutoff or any other details, they can directly contact the admissions office.
Admissions office. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can contact the admissions office, and in case any further queries which you would want to know more about, Bijit has already shared the link of IMT's website, so everybody can go and check. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.